Vajrayana, we have the different practices. Some practices are related to very wrathful deities, and some practices are very much related to peaceful deities. As you all know anyway, I don't have to tell you. You can see all these on these pillars, on these columns. You can see many deities. Some of them are very peaceful, some of them are a little wrathful, I think. And so in the Mahayana, we seldom see that. In Mahayana means in Sutrayana, we seldom see this. You Vietnamese are truly sort of your own tradition of Buddhism, Buddhist school, is very much based on Mahayana. Very much. Not only based on Mahayana, but it's very much Sutrayana. And so Sutrayana or the Mahayana, common Mahayana doesn't have that much of deities. Doesn't have that many deities. The only deity is the Bodhisattva. All the Bodhisattvas are there, and the Buddhas are there. And Buddha also very seldom see 100 Buddhas or that sort of Buddha. We have only 5 family Buddha. And So 5 family Buddha. But then in Vajrayana, we have, of course, 5 family Buddha we have. We have all sorts of Buddhas. I think if we calculate, there are hundreds of them, thousands of them actually. And also Bodhisattvas, so there are many Bodhisattvas. You can't really count. But then something very unique is that we have a wrathful form, peaceful form, lustful form, you know. So there's 3 forms of Buddhas: lustful form, and then the wrathful form, and then the peaceful form. And but they equally, we believe that they equally Buddha. And it's true also. But Buddhas are, to us, to our understanding, the Buddhas are nothing but realized state of mind. And so in the mind, we have different aspects of the mind, as you all know. We sometimes very happy, sometimes we are not very happy, sometimes we are very angry, sometimes we are very lustful, desireful, very much like full of desires and full of lusts. Sometimes we are very peaceful. Not much of lust, not much of desire, not much of anger, kind of peaceful. So these are the kind of aspects of the mind. So, but of course, just without practicing that different aspects of the mind, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sort of progress. We all, as a practitioner, we all want to be progressed as a practitioner. Otherwise, why practice? As I mentioned this morning, the point of practice, the purpose of the practice is to progress, to transform oneself, to improve, whatever you may call it. You can call it improvement, you can call it progress, you can call it the process of better development, etc. However, we need to work on ourselves, and hopefully we can make ourselves better. This is what we call practice. So, of course, in Buddhism, there are Theravadan practice, as well as the Mahayana practice. And within Mahayana, we have Tantrayana practice, which is Mahayana still, but it's a Tantrayana. So, in Tantrayana, we have all these deities, different deities, to what do you call that? To symbolize, to signify, to sign, to like a signal, to how do you say, to represent one's own manifestation of our own mind. In other words, you can say that all these different deities are the manifest. It has to be understood as a manifestation of our mind. Due to different sorts of manifestation we have in our mind, as I mentioned right now. We have a lot of anger, we have a lot of desire, we have a lot of jealousy, We have a lot of ignorance, we have a lot of misunderstanding, and especially the afflictive emotions. Afflictive emotions are so strong, unbelievable. And the emotions are the one who's really driving us. Not necessarily to say crazy, but we, it's the mission. It's the machine for us. It's the machine for us. Always we keep on sort of going on and on and on and on, non-stop. And the machine, the engine, the actual engine is nothing but the afflictive emotions. The emotions are the one who's really driving us. And then, it goes on and on and on. Here I'm not saying which is, whether that is good or whether that is bad. We are not here to say good or bad. Because what's the point? The good is also one of our imagination, and the bad is also one of our imagination. So what's the point of talking about bad and good? But anyway, all these things are machine that drives you on and on. Anyway, mandala offerings, I think, ready. So according to the Vajrayana, we have to offer the mandala. Without offering mandala, if you get the teaching, even if you get the teaching, you wouldn't be that much of successfully practiced. So according to the mandala, the Vajrayana, we call it Tendil. Tendil is, interdependent coordination. So that is very important to sort of like whatever is sort of like it's a yin and yang. One has to request and then somebody has to give. One has to ask and then the other one has to be given, give up. So it's like a tendil. So tendil, if the tendil doesn't work, if tendil is not the both way, yin and yang, then just only one sort of aspect of whatever exists. It cannot be working well, and it doesn't really work that way. So therefore, mandala offering is very much the key sort of thing. So therefore, first we go through the mandala offering. Sege is going to be leading the mandala, and then a bunch of the yogi and also the practitioners are very proud to see these practitioners in Russian community, because it's a very seldom to see such a genuine practitioner. And just now I met him and he was saying that in the Russia, you can see a lot of Russian people who are genuine practitioners, even though they don't look like it, but they are very much genuine practitioners, and especially in the Vajrayana, they are very much deep down into practice. So I'm very happy about that. Chinye Suda Choju Dagi Mali Keda Tamje La Rida Mai Tamwe Chagi Gewa Tamje Ige Masundu Shinge Gewa Kunyara Jase Lo Tuje Dena Dunye Sange Na Sange Sange Eda Jigi Na Madhu Bhattu Gewa Dagi Gamano Eda Mabba Nizage Tuna Yagi La Yasira Gewa Kungi Yudara Tuji Gewa Shipatam Chadari Sambundi Pura Sanjura Pashami Krishna Giri Bhuma Tapata Sipani Jivani Manam Kada Nyambendra Nandava Nitva Tanga So continuation of that explanation of the practice. So we practice it according to our own emotions. Afflictive emotions are the one. Afflictive emotions are the one that we are sort of like sorting out. If you like, you can say we are sorting out according to the afflictive emotions. So afflictive emotions are nothing but it's just like emanating or emanation. You know, it's just a manifestation. So the wrathful Buddhas are the manifestation of anger. It's very simple, very simple. Why complicate us? We don't want to complicate us. So wrathful form of the Buddha are the manifestation of different aspects of the anger. And then the peaceful Buddhas are the manifestation of our own peaceful mind. Different types of peaceful mind. And then the lustful Buddhas are desireful, you know, very full of desire and all these things. You can see these Buddhas are not that the Buddha has a desire or anything else, but it's a manifestation of our own desire. And desire has different forms, you know. Some desire goes to human being, like a man and woman. Some desire goes to the sort of like goes to the food, goes to the different pleasurable sort of objects. So all these things you can see in the figures of the Lord, the different types of Buddha. So you just see that. So all these things are very sort of visible that these are being very much the manifestation of our own defilements, different defilements. So this is very important to understand that, rather than seeing them as a deity. The other day I said to some of you that the deity is the word that often comes in the Bible. So we steal the terminology from the Christian tradition. It's not a Buddhist terminology. Buddhist doesn't believe in deity. Deity is not a Buddhist thing. But obviously deity is a very, and especially Tantriyana, it's full of deities, as I mentioned, you know. I think in this room, if you put a statues of deities that we can ever see in a tantric sort of like a tradition, or tantric books and traditions, I think this room is far too small. You know, we have more than thousands and thousands of deities, if you like, you can say the deity. But these are not seen. These should not be seen as a deity at all. If you see them as a deity, it's totally wrong. Big error, big mistake. So many of us, I mean many of the Buddhist people, not only just us, I think the majority of the Buddhist people in this world has a big misunderstanding about that. Looking at the Tantric, the Vajrayana Buddhas, Mahayana Buddha and Bodhisattvas, and all these Buddha and Bodhisattvas as, how do you say, as being as a deity. Then I would say, if you really believe that all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are being deity, then to me, please, if I'm wrong, then how do you say, I want to apologize for my mistake. But to me, if you see them as a deity, then the deity, to me, deity and ghost are perfectly same. No differences between the deity and the ghost. I don't think it is a difference. There is a difference. I don't think so. Maybe deities are a little bit better spirit, and the ghost is considered to be a very kind of Dracula kind of thing. You know? Maybe. That's a different, maybe. But principle is the same. Anyway, deity is also a ghost. Dracula is also a ghost. And I think, you know, it's a ghost. Whether or not you like it or not. It's like that. So therefore we, Vajrayana, Mahayana, we don't believe in a deity, for sure. Though we use this word, deity, we have a lot of things, you know. Here, you can't see that many, but some temples full of deities. It's full of the Buddha and Bodhisattvas. Wrathful deities, peaceful deities, and everywhere. So, but the actual peaceful deity is the manifestation of your peace, your mind that is peace. Wrathful is the manifestation of your mind that is very much in the wrathful form. Your mind, wrathful mind. That's true. We have, for example, wrathful mind, for example. We all are seemingly very peaceful right now. But actually, deep down in the mind, the anger is boiling. Anger is boiling, definitely. Anger is boiling water. It's always there. Deep down. But we are sort of like, somehow, for the time being, it's just like peaceful. But deep down, the anger is always there. That's the reason that anger can be very provocative. You can provoke anger within 2 minutes, within 1 minute, within 1 second. It can be provoked very easily, much easier than any of other emotions. But luckily, fortunately, nobody is provoking you. Nobody is really making you angry right now. I hope not. So that is the reason why we all are kind of looking quite peaceful. But the anger is there. It's not that the anger is not there. Anger is not ripened, not ripened or not sort of like rocked. You know, if you rock it, definitely it will come. So better not to rock but it's there. The principle is there. Principle of anger is always there, for sure. That is our principle. That is our nature. You can say our nature. Our nature is not necessarily an emptiness. Sometimes we say, oh, our nature is empty. Our nature is Madhyamaka. Our nature is Dakshin. Our nature is Mahamudra. And that is a very nice way of saying. But actual fact, our nature is anger. Our nature is desire. Our nature is jealousy. Our nature is, doubtful. Our nature is lustful. These are, the emotions are the nature, actually. But we don't want to say that. So we want to change it into a little bit nicer form. So our nature is Madhyamaka, Mahamudra. Our nature is Dakshin. And then the Dakshin, when we say Dakshin, when we say Mahamudra, when we say Madhyamaka, we always have a picture of, so luxurious, so peaceful, so, and when you reach to a level of the Madhyamaka, you don't see anything but angel. Full of angel, peaceful, nice music, and nice thing, always nice thing. You wouldn't see any bad things. That is the nature of the Madhyamaka. That is the nature of Mahamudra. That is what we have, that sort of hallucination. And that is definitely a hallucination. It is not true. Anyway, that is a bluff. Whoever told us this is a bluff. Even the Buddha Shakyamuni must have said that sometime. It's also his bluffing. Even the Buddha Shakyamuni is also bluffing. It's true. Milarepa said he is the greatest bluffer. Buddha Shakyamuni is the greatest liar, Milarepa said. That's true. Because Buddha Shakyamuni has to say a lot of things which is not true. He had no choice, but he had to say them. Because his disciples, millions of disciples, billions of disciples, starting from maybe Russia, down to Australia, was the whole entire people are his disciples. So of course, three people has three different attitude, three different personalities, three different qualities, three different way of looking at it. So three people has you have to treat differently, three different treatments. So just imagine his students, like from here to the Australia, entirely it was Buddhist. So he had to give how many different types of teaching according to the people. So he had to give a lot of different teachings, and then the teachings has a different things that are not true ultimately. So he had to say many things. That's the reason why Milarepa pointed out that he is a great liar. So it's the same thing, we think the nature of mind is something great. Yes, it is great. When you realize it, then you will feel that it's a great or whatever, that we call it great. You will feel it. That is again this morning I said, as I said this morning, very clear. You have to taste it. You have to experience it. There is no point for us to talk whether that realization is great or not, whether that nature is great or not. We don't want to say it. It's too much things to say and too much of presumption. We have to presume. Presumption, too much of presumption doesn't really make that much of sense. We just go ahead with our own think, whatever we have to deal with it. We do it ourselves. Whatever it comes in this moment after the moment. Practitioners should live moment by moment. not just presume. What is Mahamudra? What is Madhyamaka? What is the nature? What is Dzogchen? Nobody knows. There's no point to talk about all these things. But generally speaking, nature is nature. Anger is the nature, I would say. Anger is nature. Desire is nature. Lustful is nature. Wanting is nature. Jealousy is nature. That is the nature. So therefore, the Tantrivyana, the Buddha Shakyamuni, was very kindly, and also is very skillfully given the instruction to understand all these things as a Buddha. Buddha means as a deity or whatever you may call it. We call it Tha. Tha in English it's God, but God is also not good. God is also not good terminology, I would say. So we can't find the words in English. I think in Russia also we can't find. We wouldn't be able to find an appropriate kind of a terminology for the law. God is also not good, but maybe you have to say God. The better word is the deity, but it's even worse than the God. So I don't know what to say. But anyway, these are the one that Buddha Shakyamuni has given. Buddha Shakyamuni in Sanskrit is Bhagavan. That's a great terminology. That is the very good one. But we don't find in English. We can't find this. And any type of European language, I don't think they have appropriate words for La. Appropriate word for Bhagavan. I don't know. I'm not very good at all these translating and all these things. So I'm not in a position to talk about all these things. But I'm just guessing that we don't really have that much of possibility to find a terminology that works with that, the manifestation of our own mind that is there as a wrathful mind manifests into the wrathful form of the Buddha, and lustful mind manifests into the lustful Buddha. Peaceful form of the mind comes into the peaceful form of the Buddha. So it's manifestation. So it's like so this is something you have to understand. Why this is so is that you have to do that so that you will be able to work with your own emotion. That is the way to exercise your mind, so that the mind will eventually be realized by itself and realize the nature of its own nature, the nature of its own entity. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. The mind needs to be understood. The mind itself. That's the thing. Nothing but mind. So wrathful form comes there. This is not there. Today, Hayagriva, for example, and this is Hayagriva is a very wrathful form of the Buddha. But it is not coming from somewhere else. It is not coming from somewhere else. It is the symbol of your own, if you like, you can call it symbol. The symbol of your own anger. Mahakala, for instance, is a symbol of your own anger. And you see that the Hayagriva is the symbol of your anger. Your anger that is very much connected with the desire. That is the Hayagriva. Combination, I would say. Combination of desire and hatred. But hatred is the more powerful in this respect. Hatred is more powerful, and then the desire comes together with it, and it's connected. with the strong desire also, which is very much the case of what we live on day to day. You know, desire, anger, you never know. Desire, anger, desire, anger. When we talk about the relationship with the girl and the relationship with the boy, relationship with somebody else, it's also like that, no? Love and hatred. Love and hatred. Sometimes you hate her. You don't want to see him. You don't want to see her. But sometimes you love her. You love him. You just can't sort of, you can't tell. You can't tell what really is happening in your mind. So this means love and hatred. So that's the higher giver in the Vajrayana form of the practice. If you are practicing. Okay? If you are not practitioner, then it's love and hatred. That's all. It's just love and hatred. That's the day-to-day life. In your life, relationship is nothing but love and hatred. So we live on that. We live on that. Love too much, become a hatred. You know? Love is very good, but at the end, the hatred comes from nowhere. And you don't know what is happening. You don't even know yourself also. I mean, who will be able to tell you? You should also know something, but you don't also know what really happened with me. I'm so angry. But minutes ago, I was so loving. The love is so strong, but then too strong that it turns out to be hatred. So this is, when it comes to the Vajrayana practices, it is the Hevata, the higher giver. That's the thing. If you're not practicing, then higher giver, forget it. No need. No need higher giver. Higher giver doesn't make any sense. And the picture of higher giver doesn't make any sense. The statue of higher giver doesn't make any sense. The mantra of higher giver doesn't make any sense. If you don't know, if you don't practice, then what's the point? You just practice what your nature does, and that's it. Day-to-day hatred and this and that, and nothing really happens. But this is this practice of the higher giver meant to be practicing together with the day-to-day life process of the day-to-day life, and try to sort of like transform, as I mentioned the other day or this morning also. Transform. Transformation is really the key point, according to my understanding. Transformation is the key point. You have to transform it. Transformation. You know, transform the emotions. Transform the afflictive emotions into wisdom. And how to transform them? That, of course, we have to practice such kind of things. But not only that, you have to practice with understanding, thorough understanding of the practice also. Practice itself doesn't make any sense. As I mentioned, mantra doesn't make that much of sense. Statue doesn't make that much of sense. Sadhana as well doesn't make that much of sense. So what makes sense? The understanding of all the sadhanas, the meaning of the mantra, and meaning of the wrathful form and the peaceful form of Buddha, such as Ekagara. So then the practice goes very much successfully and progressively. So, and when this comes, then this practice is not only just a mantra. This practice is not only just a visualization. This higher giver, this higher giver practice is really the emotion. No separation between your own emotions, afflictive emotions, and especially the emotions that it's anger. anger with the desire. So this, when the practice, so-called higher giver, is nothing but your emotion. So you can see the inseparability, the entity. You can see and you can understand, and you will be doing practice during your practices. You will not separate it yourself from the higher giver, and the higher giver is higher giver separated from you. No way. Even though you see the tanka, you see the deity statues, you see mantras out there, you see the books out there, everything is there, but you see deep down in mind, you see all these this particular higher giver is no difference, no separated from your mind. Same. This is what we call oneness. Suchnesses. Sometimes suchnesses. Sometimes oneness. There are many ways of calling it. Oneness. There is no two. One. Practice and yourself. There is no two entities. Just one. So that is a very important point that you should have in your mind as a Vajrayana practitioner. Not only just this one. This one I'm just taking in kind of what do you call that? Not an example, but take this just one of the sort of like practices. But obviously, all the practices are there. So this is Rajva. Now, peaceful form, green Tara, for example, Tara practice. Manjushri, peaceful form. Avalokiteshvara, peaceful form. So all the peaceful form, again, same thing, but you have to practice inseparable from your mind, from your aspect of your own mind. These are just aspects of the manifestation. So they're peaceful form. But that doesn't mean that it's something there. Not like the non-Buddhist way of believing God. Non-Buddhist way of believing God is a God, but the God is somewhere there, inherently exists. And that God is the creator. We all are creation of the God. The God made us. The God made the world. The God made the girls. The God made the boys. The God made tall. The God made short. The God made white skin. The God made black skin. That is true. That is what they say. But we say it's not, there is no God as such. So the same thing, there is no God or no Bhagavan out there. No Hayagiva out there. No Hayagiva out there. So-called Hayagiva. So-called as such a great practice, or so-called such a great thing, such a great Buddha. There's no one there. It's a manifestation of your own mind, your own entity, your own way, your own sort of like entity or nature. This is what I'm saying. Your own nature. It is your own nature, nothing but your own nature. So nature is what? Anger. Nature is desire. Nature is jealousy. So that is our nature. So we have to practice it. We have to sort of like transform it. We have to work on it. So there's a Mahayana way of working on it. But this is the Vajrayana way of working on it. So I think it's good enough. I think there are many ways, many other things we can talk about it, but I think that's the most important thing that you have to understand. Everything. If you don't understand, when you have a misunderstanding about that, that's the point where within the Buddhist community we have a lot of different, a lot of people who does not believe Tantrigyana is a Buddhist, as a Buddhist tradition. They call it, they think that this is not a pure Buddhism. They think like that. Why? Because how can Buddha be angry that much? They can't believe it. Buddha has to be peaceful. Look at the Buddha Shakyamuni. He should be looking always like this. Now these guys are, undermining Buddha. That now Buddha is getting angry and look at this, terrible looking. How can this be Buddha? Impossible. How can Buddha get that much angry? Not even we cannot get that much angry. How can be Buddha getting that much of anger? Impossible. So this means something wrong. Tantrigyana is something wrong. They think like that, which is true also in that respect. Of course, if you don't understand deeper than that, yes, of course, I will salute them, and I will accept what they say. Yes, we are wrong. We are wrong. Yes, you said what you say is quite true, very true. But you have to go deeper, down in the philosophical level, very much deep down. And then we are not saying, then you have to understand that we are not undermining the Buddha. We are telling the truth of our nature. And these deities and Buddhas, peaceful and the deity, peaceful Buddhas and wrathfuls and all in different forms, hundreds of different forms, are nothing but manifestation of your own mind. That is the thing that you have to understand. And also there are some Buddhas, for example, Samanthabhadris, they are very much union. And many people, they can't even look at it. They think, this is like a pornograph, It definitely is a pornography kind of thing. So, how can this be a Buddhist teaching? Look at this, it's a pornography. How can it be like this? Quickly close it. You cannot watch it. It's a taboo, So how can it be watched? It's impossible. But it's not a taboo. It's our nature. We can't live without that. That is our nature. The desire is our nature. Sexuality is our nature. That is our nature. So it has to be nourished in a kind of a positive way. It has to be nourished in a kind of a progressive way, and developing way. That is Buddha Dharma. That is the practice you have to do. You can't ignore it because it's a nature. So that is the thing. If you understand it, that is our nature. So therefore it needs to be practiced rather than hiding it. So that's the thing. So I don't know. Anyway, I shouldn't be talking too much. Anyway, you have to understand all these things are, that is the reason why, this is what I'm talking about. I'm getting carried away a little bit talking different things at one go. That's the reason there are many. I mean, maybe hundreds of years ago when Nagarjuna was there, already there is a dispute. What do you call that? Kind of strong debate whether the Mahayana is a Buddhist or not. Forget about Tantrayana, but the Mahayana is also, sometimes people don't believe that that is the Buddhist teaching. So the Nagarjuna had to write many books to introduce Mahayana as a Buddhist, true, essential part of the Buddhist teaching. The Nagarjuna had to work hard just to convince people that the Mahayana is a part of the Buddhism. Otherwise, there were some time where the Theravadan was very popular and well sort of recognized by the common people, which is of course true also. And that should be the way anyway. And so much so that, the Mahayana was almost like a dying, almost vanished. Then not only Nagarjuna, but many of the great yogis and scholars, Pandit, they had to really work hard to convince, to bring the Mahayana again onto our level of understanding. So then Mahayana grew up, thanks to the Nagarjuna and all these great masters of that time. And at the same time, of course, Nagarjuna is a great yogi. He is one of the 80 Mahasiddhas. And like Narupa, Tilupa, Luhepa, Dumbiva, I don't know, whatever. A lot of these things are not only just a yogi, but they are scholars. Some of them are great scholars like Narupa, but also great yogi, a crazy yogi, etc. Anyway, so the many different times the Buddhists also sort of went up and down, and Vajrayana also went up and down, and also the Mahayana went up and down. And most of the ups and downs happened because of misunderstanding. That is the reason Nagarjuna, people like Nagarjuna, the scholar like Nagarjuna, had to write and had to teach genuine way of explaining. They did a very much explaining and convinced the people how the things works in Mahayana, how the thing works in Vajrayana. They had to work very hard so that then people will understand it correctly. So nowadays also, even though many people are not really interested to start with, but if those people who are a little interested, they have misunderstanding, they have strong misunderstanding. And one of the misunderstanding is the deity. One of the biggest misunderstanding is the deity. When we talk about deity, sadhyanas, practice, Hayagriva, practice, Chenrezing, practice, Manjushri, practice, Kalachakra, practice, Chakra Sambhava, practice, Guru Padma Sambhava, practice that, practice this. You have tons of millions of practices. But we practice and then we don't know what is we are practicing. Almost we are practicing a ghost. We are practicing a ghost, actually. I used to say, it comes in my mind, like in my crazy mind. Forget about Hayakira, forget about Mahakala, forget about Chakra Sambhava, but just simply think about the four-armed Avalokiteshvara, the white form, very peaceful, very, very peaceful, holding jewels here, holding malas here, holding lotus here, four-armed, very peaceful, very nice, cross-legged. Just simply imagine, if you see in the night time, pitch dark, if you see four-armed Avalokiteshvara in nowhere, just imagine, you would be screaming like nobody's business. You will not be seeing this, oh wow, such an Avalokiteshvara. I have seen now Avalokiteshvara. What unfortunate I am. So please come and sit down and bless me. Will you say that? I don't think so. You will scream and run for your life. For sure. Why? Why so? It's because you have been thinking about Avalokiteshvara as a ghost, deep down in the mind. You're not visualizing Avalokiteshvara correct way. You are practicing wrong way. So many years you have been practicing wrong way. So now you see Avalokiteshvara, you run away. So anyway, this is my just a crazy sort of mind that tells this way. But I hope I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong. So when you practice, from initial point, you have to understand peaceful form of Buddha, such as Avalokiteshvara, green Tara, white Tara, wrathful forms such as Hayakira, lustful forms such as like Vajrayogini and Chakra Sambhava, Kala Chakra. All these things, initially, from the starting point, we have to understand that these practices are nothing but manifestation of your own mind. That is very important to understand. And if you do that correctly, you will never have to run away. When you see them, which is of course you will see them when you die, for sure. There's no doubt about it. Not only one Avalokiteshvara, yes, please don't undermine that. You just have to make sure that you will see millions of Hayakira, wrathful form, big eyes, and big wrathful form, like one body, the physical body has the size of this building, and running around, and very wrathful, you can't believe it. And you will see that, because this is the nature of your own mind. You will see it when you die. There's no doubt about it. Even the doctor, I have spoken with some doctors and nurses. They came to know that there are many people who are dying. They are seeing a lot of different things before dying. They are not Buddhists. These doctors that I'm talking about are not Buddhists at all. But they know that these people who are about to die, they see this kind of different things. And they don't know what they're seeing. But they say that this is the sign that they are going to die soon, within 1 or 2 days. They say that, they told me, but they don't know what they're seeing. But some of them, they really afraid, they're scared like nobody's business. They're scared like nobody's business. Just before dying also, they're scared. They scream, they cry for help. They ask people to come and hold them. They ask people to shut the door. They ask people to turn on the light. Even though light's on, they wanted to turn on more lights, but there's no more. I mean, every light's on, but they wanted to people to turn on the lights. They scream, they cry. They say that many people are coming to take me. Many people are going to kill me. Many people who are carrying the weapons and then they're this and that. If they can still talk. If they can't talk, they still scared and cry like nobody's business. Some people they feel they see many peaceful things, but they don't know what are they. But they see many different nice things. And they sometimes they say, oh, I have seen many things, many people dancing, many people singing, oh, who's there? Oh, my friend so and so came. And there's no such thing. But my friend came, my brother came, my father came, or so and so. They don't recognize them as Hayagriva or Avalokiteshvara. They just see something like a brother or sisters or something, friends or something like that. But the brothers, that particular brother, he was thinking that he's seeing is may have already dead, but he's seeing it again. So all these things are manifestation of your own mind. And that these are the things that is the Buddha Shakyamuni has very skillfully, he identified it as a God. You can call it God. You can call it Bhagwan. You can call it whatever. This is you can call it deity if you want. But it's not deity, but it's just a manifestation of your own mind. So, since it's the manifestation that is already there, why not we just work on it? We just, how do you say? We just practice it. That's the reason why we need to practice. While we are alive, while we are still sort of enjoying the, livelihood, why not practice it? And practicing the principle of practices, what we call familiarization, the process of familiarizing yourself with certain sort of forms and deities and mantras, sounds and voice and wrathful, peaceful, lustful, all these things. You have to familiarize it. Familiarize it. That is the other terminology of the meditation. I always use familiarization. That is better because you have to familiarize with yourself. Meditation is also a good word, but I don't know what is really meditation in Latin language. What is really connotation of that? I don't know. I'm very bad at language anyway, so I don't really know. But the familiarization is very good. You have to familiarize yourself with the manifestation of your own mind, which is already within yourself, always there. When you're about to die and you die, means when you leave this body, then they have to come out. They have to come out of the body, because body is no longer holding this thing. So then they all have to come out along with you. You also have to go out. The body is just a guest house. It's a guest room. Guest room is the room in this building I'm staying in. I'm just a guest. So I'm staying here, but then 2 days later I'll be gone. And the room is there, but I'll be gone. So it's similarly that my body is a guest room. I'm the guest. So I'll be gone. And I'll be leaving the body behind. So that time the body is no longer mine. And then the manifestation of my mind also goes with me, all the way wherever I go. So when it comes to the out, it's like a very visibly, without the body, without the circulation of bindus and circulation of the wind circulations and circulations of whatnot, energy and all these things. So then, of course, how do you say, that would be a very very difficult period. That's the reason why sometimes people think you didn't turn on your light. Please turn on the light. But they don't see the light. When they die, then they don't see the light. They don't see, they are there, but they don't see the sun. They don't see the moon. Because the moon and sun, these two are the manifestation of your, the feminine's energy and the masculine energy. The yin and yang. The feminine's energy comes out as the sun, and masculine energy comes out as the moon. So these two major energies are bumped, are sort of like squashed, and it's gone. It's not there, no longer there. The essence is gone already, no longer there. So you cannot see the sun. Even if there's a sunshine like nobody's business, but you cannot see it. Even if there is a moon, you can see in the night time there's not a dark. But for them, it's dark, because they can't see anything, because the light is manifestation. But the manifestations are already sort of like a source of the manifestation of that particular thing is already gone. So then these manifestations, the god and goddesses and the wrathful gods and all these things, is always there in your vision. At that time, then you are very much scared and you will not be protected. Instead of protecting it, they are the cause of the problem, cause of fears. This is what I'm saying. You will be running for your life. You will not see that. You will be seeing hundreds of Buddhas. I'm telling you. You are seeing Buddhas. You are not seeing God. You are not seeing God. You are not seeing ghosts. You are not seeing anything. You are seeing Buddha. You are seeing your manifestation, the Hayagirva. You are seeing the Avalokiteshvara. You are seeing Guru Padmasambhava. You are seeing Manjushri. You are seeing, the beautiful things that we are really like admiring right now. But you are not at all good. You will not at all admire. Instead, you will be running for your life. This is what I'm saying. Because you have been practicing wrongly. It is actually, this Hayagriva teaching is very, very, very seldom given to the public. But for some reason I thought that Russia, this teaching is appropriate. That's the reason I have chosen this one. I went to Vietnam so many times, but I've never given this one. I've never given to France also. France, I think I went maybe 20 times or maybe more, but I've never given this teaching. For some reason, they're not really appropriate kind of disciples or people for such kind of teachings. So now, teaching, I think, part is already given. That's good enough, I think. You have to understand generalized kind of situation or generalized kind of explanation of who is Hayagriva and what to see, how to handle it. You have already kind of generalized the information, I would say. It's just an information. But now practice is, of course, fully depends on one's own dedication, one's own devotion, and one's own, what do you call that? One's own sort of like one-pointed mind anyway. We call it Tsunju. I don't know, now I found no words in English. Practice has to be done along with the Tsunju and devotion, Tepa. Okay. Okay, now page number 3. Do you have all these books or no? Page number 3. That's Guru Yoga, the number 3. Manam Kadanya Simjan Tamjit Lama Sangye Chu, Manam gadam yame senjem bhave lama sangye kirgila yasuje repeating 3 times, okay? And also each line you repeat one first line, repeat again and again and again, okay? It says, of course, those people who read English, that's very well said it already in English. But again, we have to apologize for not having Russians right now, because this made in Vietnam, made in Vietnam. So it's the material made in Vietnam, so it comes Vietnamese, not Russian. So that I think easily can be translated into Russian, and then we can get it to you. But for the time being, it is in English only. So it's a mother sentient beings as limitless as the sky. They seek the refuge in the Guru Dharmakaya, and seek the refuge to the Guru Sambhogakaya, and seek the refuge to Guru Nirmanakaya, and to seek the refuge in the Guru Precious Buddha. Guru Precious Buddha means the mind itself. All the, the source of the manifestation, all the manifestation comes from mind itself. So that is the mind itself. That's the what we call it, Guru Precious Buddha. That's the only kind of a way you can say in English. But it's in the Sanskrit, it is not only just a precious Buddha, but it has deep meaning anyway. Wo Niku, it's a very deep philosophical meaning. But in English, you can't translate into anything. It's just precious Buddha. That's all you can say. So that's it. So anyway, these are the refuge. So we did already twice. Now you do one more. Manam Then now, that after taking refuge, page number 4. We are prostrating. Actually, we have to prostrate. But then if you prostrate, you can't chant. If you chant, then no prostration. So there is a problem. There is a trouble. There is a problem anyway. Because you have to stand up and prostrate 3 times. But then prostrate with the mind, okay? Mentally you have to prostrate to Guru Haya Kiva, okay? Now taking refuge and bodhicitta development done. Now the prostration you have to do it. You have to do it prostration for what? Just to pay homage. It's not only paying homage. Paying homage is one thing. Paying homage is one thing. That is the very superficial. When you have a respect When you have a sense of respect, when you have a sense of honor, so when you have a sense of, let's say, understanding of the guru, whatever the quality of the guru, and whatever, like a superficial quality, whatever, this guru is very learned person, this guru is very compassionate person, this guru is very, how do you say, or spend many years in meditation and all these things. This guru must be a great guru, So that sort of things. Even if you know something like that, then you obviously you prostrate and you pay homage. That is one thing. But Vajrayana, this is not only that paying homage is not only the thing that the meaning of the prostration. The prostration, really the meaning of the prostration actually means to how do you say, diminish your pride. Diminish your pride. Right now, just a while ago, when we talk about Hayagriva, we were talking a little bit like about the reflective emotions are being like a different manifestation of mind. Yeah. So now one of the great manifestation of our mind is the pride. We have a pride. Not only human being, but we all have a human. Even the insects also has its own pride. So the pride is apparently comes to our practice as a very great obstacle. Pride is the very much obstacle. If the pride is there, then you cannot develop further. Pride is really the obstacle between your practice and yourself. You don't want to practice. You don't want to practice because pride says, you're okay. You're okay. Why are you practicing? Why you have to do this? Why you have to do that? You don't have to do anything, The practice is nonsense. The practice is a nonsense. The master is nonsense. The teaching is nonsense. Whatever the teaching, it's just a bluff. It's just nothing. I know much better. I know everything, I know everything. They don't know anything. The master also doesn't know anything. What is he talking about, all these things, I know everything. This is the reason why we always use in our language, day-to-day life, like language, you say, I know, That's very much like very much our tongue. We use that, when we talk about something. You don't know. Actual fact, you don't know anything, but you say, I know. So that's because that's the manifestation of our pride. I know. Shut up. I know everything. What I do, you don't have to tell me anything. Do you notice that? I don't know. I mean, this is what I really found out. That is our sort of nature. If people say something, you should do this, you shouldn't do this, you should eat this. I know, Mom. Shut up. You don't want Mom to say many things. Mom is saying this because of her love to you. So Mom wants you to eat properly. Mom wants you to do properly, wear properly, talk properly, behave properly. So then Mom nagging. So when Mom nags, you just say, I know. So this means shut up. Don't talk anymore. But this is because of your pride. So anyway, not only that is just Mom and yourself, the relationship between your Mom and yourself. But it goes with anything. It goes with anything. Pride is really amazing, I would say. Pride is not something visible, but very, very, very subtle and very sharp and pointing. Very pointing, very sharp. And it kills all the virtues, all the positivities, and all the further development. Any kind of further development, you may be able to do it. It will kill further development, the sense of doing further development. No longer. So it's a very big obstacle. So therefore, in the Buddhist methodology, I would say, always comes to mind. Prostration comes. Prostration is so important. But nowadays, not many people know why the prostration is doing. It's just a tradition. It's an Asian tradition. Let's do it. It's a kind of a romantic and it's like an exotic kind of thing, you know. That's an Asian tradition. We do. Oh, that's very good. You know. Maybe it's a good exercise also. You know? I mean, better than nothing. We should move and we should do like bending and sitting up. So maybe like an exercise. And it's kind of pretty sort of romantic and pretty sort of exotic. So people like that. Western people, they're very fond of doing that. So they are Asian kind of culture. When it comes to our country, wow, that's a kind of something funny thing to do. We're very happy to do. But why? What is the meaning behind it? We don't know. The meaning behind it is not only just to pay homage. We have to know that the prostration makes one's own pride goes down. And so that we will be finding the path easier, a lot easier on your way of the practices. That is the thing. I mean, not only in the West, I would say in the Asia, the Vietnamese also, they prostrate, they kneel down. You know, they're very fond of kneeling down in Vietnam. They're very fond of kneeling down in Vietnam. They are very fond of kneeling down in Japan. Japan, all the women, the elder women, they can't really have a leg straight. The legs are a little bent. Because they have been kneeling down like forever, a whole life they have been kneeling down. Poor girl. Poor ladies. Men are enjoying big time. But women, they have to kneel down like nobody's business, you know. So that is the thing. So Japan and Vietnam also, I mean, very fond of this prostration. But the reason you have to understand, if you are practicing Buddhism, I'm talking about. If you are not practicing Buddhism, that's nothing to say. That's nothing to do with me anyway. So that's something else. I'm not in a position to say anything. But if you are a Buddhist practitioner, you have to understand why you are kneeling down. You are kneeling down to make yourself purified from the pride. The pride needs to be worked out while you are kneeling down. That's the main reason why you are kneeling down. So that's the thing. So that's the prostration we did. So then we do it 3 times, okay? Om Deva supplication. You have to supplicate. Supplicate means like a supplicate for, then please supplicate for giving initiation, supplicate for giving blessings, supplicate for blessings for purification, purifying one's own sort of like a misunderstanding. Again, there's a supplication for Guru to be keeping healthy and long life, and spread his teaching for the benefit of all beings. Lama first, then you do this. But now you don't have to do it. Flip the pages over to the 8th number 8. Rani ke chi ki cho we ya po pa ta ji ki ku sa bo yi ni ga sen ba shi gu yu shi Page number 15 now. Om Subhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Subhava Shuddha Hai Dai Me Beraje Yedomani Durdu Oge Mane Benmadanye Medema Shile Yudori Bietema Nozu Girvale Ranye Icho Egel Ai like this, as it says very clearly. You have to visualize yourself as a Hayagriva, Guru as well. And now you send lots of lights from your heart, which is representing your devotion to the universal truth, the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, and Taka, Dakinis and Guru, and also mind itself, the nature. So invoke the blessings, and blessing comes into this time as a nectar and showers you down and purify all the defilement and all the negative karmas that are accumulated by mainly body, but also speech and mind. And so therefore now you have to, you will get the nectar. Kumbha is the representing the Hayagriva, and then the nectar comes from the Kumbha. You will have the initiation of that. Now, now first you offer offerings, whatever you offering. According to this, it has first, it comes from the Indian tradition. It comes from the Indian tradition, you know. Because India is very hot, unlike Russia, very hot. So always feel thirsty. So the offering water is the best offering. So they always offer drinking water, argam. Then the second thing is India, again, very hot. Therefore you have to wash your feet all the time. Wash your feet. Washing your feet makes very cool, and also it helps all the circulations of the body. So people always wash the feet. That's very much like the ritual thing that they do. So offering also, when the guest comes, first thing is you drinking water. Then you have to, the people wash your feet very respectfully. They will wash. They will give you the very nice wash. So that is the padana. So then they give the flowers, flower around the neck, flower around the table, and flower is the greatest gift according to the Indian tradition. Then we give the dhup. Dhup is incense. We offer the incense. And then incense, of course, it's not only just burning incense, but there's a lot of different incense, you know. In Indian tradition, we have a different incense that you don't really necessarily need to burn them, but just put in the corner of the room or the everywhere in the let's say corner of the pillars and columns and everywhere you can just hang something so that it will be sending some fragrant, very nice fragrant. They call it incense. Right now, incense means like you're burning the stick. That's all the thing that we know. But there are lots and lots of hundreds of different incense. So that is due. And then, of course, then we offer light, lamp. Those old days, of course, we don't have a light like this, you know. We don't have electricity. So we always lit up some light all over many corners so that it'll sort of feel good. So in order to feel good, that you cannot just ask guests to come and relax in a room, a nice, pretty good room that doesn't have light, so there's no light, you know. So that's you have to offer light, lamp. That is the thing. So you can allocate with the light. Then Gandhi is the perfume. It's also like maybe it does the same thing, the smell, but this is more of the perfume ointment that you can massage with, that sort of thing, or Gandhi. And then Niviti is the food. Then after that, then the food comes. Food. Then food, along with the food, then music comes. Music comes. Right now also I think some part of the European, when VIP guest comes, you provide a big banquet and good food along with the music band, you know, some guys and some women, they're standing there and they play music during the food. So this is what they do. So that's the same thing over here also. Nudity is the food, and then along with that, then Shakta is the music. Music comes with the food. So this is what we have to do. I mean, we always have to do that. When we practice Vajrayana, we often have this offerings. There's this we call it eight sensational or the pleasurable offerings. Om Banza praising Now the mantra, you have to visualize as a mantra coming from the Guru, central body of the Guru. Jara Kurda Haya Giva Hulu Hulu Humpe in a red, in kind of a color, red in color. So that comes in a very much red, and it's really like a very hot and a very wrathful kind of a form of mantra that comes from the Guru, Haya Girva, and comes out his mouth and then goes into your mouth and bless. So that is what you have to always visualize that way. When you visualize, when you recite the mantra. So now it's also you do that, then in that case then Sambhogakaya form of Haya Girva initiation received. Some correction needed. This cannot be. I think better not to start from the T. Crow. It is read crow, not as a toe. This T should be not that. Instead of T, there should be K. Crow. Kroda. Haya. Then also this instead of D, it should be G. It is G because it reads Griva, Griva. It is not a Driva, it's a Griva. And also Toda, no, it is Kroda. So whatever you have to write in Russia, I don't know. I think you should write something that says Kroda, okay? And also Giriya, it's not a Diva, Driva, it's a Griva, okay? That's something that correction needs to be done. I think this is very much based on Tibetan wrong accent. Tibetan always have a wrong accent, very much so. When it comes, but written no wrong, written very correctly written, thanks to the Virachana, thanks to those great masters, thanks to Padmasambhava, thanks to Virachana, thanks to all these great masters. We write extremely well, but the accent is terribly bad. It's just unbelievable. Now, Nipa temperanza dos, Nipa temperanza dos, Nipa temperanza dos, Dije de Jomden Dagi, Zulaki, Dala Gor, Zedus, Jomden Dagi, Zulaki, Dala Gor, Zedus, Jomden Dagi, Zulaki, Dala Gor, Zedus, Edevizuku Songi Jisuna, Neparato, Luna, Niki, Ponesa, Change Tane, Kusawasam Jimija, but the Sonsawasam Jimija, which is a brand new shoot. Nanton Jumata Villa Kukumbatan, Chaton, Chachata Villa Davala Tawai, Edevigawa Kumashi. Then page number 23, the last line, Om So Baba Shuddha Sarva Dharma So Baba Shuddha Urjana Mimi De Tomba Nidu Tombe Na Torne Rimboche Nuyang Shin Kya Nangu Torma Sapa Nepa Ishige Tuzi Kazo Shembo Shuai Ju Om A Om Om A Om Om A Om Ne için ne de cüzü çıkmıştı. Oi benza korada haya giwa idam parinda ka kai oi benza korada haya giwa idam parinda ka kai Kuji Shengai, Moiko Wang, Tamba Topjun Yamba, then Moji, Oma Hayagua, Benzo Hayagua, Hulu, Za Hong Bama Ho, Za Hong Bama Ho, Nam Benzo Hayagua, Lolo, Za Hong Bama Ho, Za Hong Bama. Benzer Kurdaya Hulu Benzhaum Pamel Zaum Pamel all the mandala dissolves into your body. Mandala means the Guru dissolves into your body. Dhaka Dagini dissolves into your body. The higher Giva dissolves into your body. And your body become like inseparable from the initiation wise you should have to think like that. It doesn't mean that you are becoming the higher Giva. You don't have to become your higher Giva. You are already higher Giva primordially, but you just have to, methodically speaking, you just have to visualize like that, as if you become a higher Giva at this moment. So you just have to receive receive the blessing that way. And then after that, don't fabricate, just keep yourself calm and peace and look at the nature of your own mind without any fabricate. 3 minutes. So then after that, we receive the initiation, and then you just have to, as to show appreciation, you offer the mandala along with the Gana Chakra offerings. We provide the Gana Chakra. So we do that. Cho Ze Nam Om Yigu Songwe Jang A Yige Okwa De Om Yige Barwa De Kado Jiro Niju Kusum Zoka Ho Same Yishege Rizige Chemo Inju.
Bye.
the end, now, appreciation offerings to even the deities, the local deities, everywhere. So that has to be done, and especially to the Guru, Argam Badam, and all these once again, the page number 26. Om Argam Pradesa Soha. Om Badam Pradesa Soha. Om Pushpe Pradesa Soha. Om Durve Pradesa Soha. Om Aloke Pradesa Soha. Om Gandhe Pradesa Soha. Om Nirvane Pradesa Soha. Om Shaka Pradesa Si Penjile Jopata Kuzoma Kundewa Ishina Dame Jume Chonde Jela Japa. Now confess whatever we did mistake in our puja, whatever we did mistake in our initiation, devotion mistake, compassionate mistake, whatever mistake that is connected with the practices has to be confessed with this 100 syllable mantra. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manu Balaya Benjara Sattva Dinopa Diksha Dikto Me Bhava Sutta Bhayo Me Bhava Subho Bhayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayas Sarva Karma Susa Me Chita Shriyam Guru Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Kata Vajra Me Munsa Bhaje Bhava Mahasamaya Sato A Om Vajra Sato Samaya Manu Balaya Vajra Sato Tenopa Diksha Vido Me Bhava Sudho Hayo Me Bhava Subho Hayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Vasiti Me Prayasa Sarva Karma Susa Me Chitam Shriyam Guru Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Tata Vajra Me Munsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sato A Om Vajra Sato Samaya Manu Balaya Vajra Sato Tenopa Diksha Vido Me Bhava Sudho Bhayo Me Bhava Subho Bhayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayasa Sarva Karma Susa Me Chitam Shriyam Guru Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Me Munsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sato A Manjur Vatam Nyam Vatam Kayam Dhammo Doyini Devatam Niki Sarva Eyam Subha Dredu Sulapatam Chapatam Chodiyala Yam Batam Daji Jene Chi Jiva Eyam Subha Dredu So. Now, this even the even this building, and then all the people, the human beings and around, whatever the appearance, has to be dissolved into the emptiness, nothingness. Like temporarily steaming a mirror with the most breath, and visualize emptiness, and then just relax again 3 minutes on its own nature without any fabrication. So with this, then we have totally finished the initiation. Then the dedication. Actually, dedication should be done later, but I think dedication should be done now, so that then later on, just you all have to sit down and then get the Gana Chakra blessing. They will distribute the Gana Chakra later on. So for the time being, we just dedicate. Geva di nudota pacheta di dugyune joa chika maripa di sala gubashu kula kudu soa tabedu laso kandu nebe sachosu Natum kulbun tapsu shivata Chudam tashi beva zedusu Chobu gyava seche tam cheta Jinchen zayu lama yav sheki Tenju tundu mulam kantapa Veda tam Gyube lama namge trashisho Yidam lazo namge trashisho Pavo kando namge trashisho Shujo suma namge trashisho Mingyu lumpo kuye trashisho Yela juju sumge trashisho Pada dume duge trashisho Gyave kusum duge trashisho Nede nimo dele tsandele Nime kuyang dele shing Ninzan tatu dele kar Kunjo sumge trashisho Tenpa jigen kansu jenvada Tenpa niru jindu sarvada Tenzin punlo shajin gebayi Tenpa yunri nebe trashisho. Now, before Gana Chakra distribution, you all can come up, split like this, because I just wanted this to be accelerated. So you should be split this like this, And then you from here please come up, please come here, this one anti-clockwise, this one is the clockwise. So we do like this, then I give initiation simultaneously. After finishing this, please sit down and get the Gana Chakra blessings. Please sit down. Please be seated. This Mahakala offerings, sadhana, I think this leave it for next time. Next time when I come, then we can think about giving this. Today, higher girva is good enough. Too many practices, no good. No good to have a lot of practices, and then it will like stress you, you know. The more stress, and the more stress gives the more sort of, let's say, uptight, and the uptightness is not good for the practice of anything. Spirituality, religious, I don't know, maybe it's okay, but spirituality, spiritual practices, the practice of Dzogchen, practice of Mahamudra, practice of Vajra, practice of these sort of Vajrayanas does not go with the stressfulness, stress, tension, all these things. So this, if this sadhana is given already, just keep it for next time. And so when we do now this protectors dancing, I will excuse myself because my health is not so good to stay that long, so I have to go. But you all will be staying here. They will distribute. Please come and they will distribute the top, and then the Mahakala or the protector dancing will be there. The protector dancing is also a very important for a part of the initiation. It needs to be there. If it is there, of course, if it is not there, it doesn't matter. But now we have already provided that, and according to the schedule, the Dharma Protector dance. So this is very good conclusion. So you have to be staying there, staying here to view that. And when you view it, you just shouldn't be seen as a ordinary kind of dance, but you have to view it with the meditation, with the sense of onenesses and sense of emptinesses and sense of Madhyamaka, Dzogchen and Chakchen and etc. So it's very important to synchronize along with your practices of understanding. So that is very important. Vision, you view, but view with the understanding. That is very important. And the same with the Gana Chakra. This is not something just as merely a feast, but you also eat it with the understanding of Mahamudra, understanding of great perfection, understanding of the Madhyamaka, understanding of Shunyata, being, this feast that you are eating, you are drinking, it's not inherently exist as it appears to be. Instead, you are eating with the understanding of Shunyata, being a Shunyata, inherently not exist, and inherently exist, and inherently not exist. The both are united, so therefore that is the union, great union, Mahamudra. So with the understanding of that, you should eat, okay? This is what I'm just normally, this is normal information, or you have to understand that as a Vajrayana practitioner. So I'm just saying it for your sake, for your benefit, So you should do that. And so that's all for today. And then maybe we will see you tomorrow also. There's some Zambalas and initiation. But if you can't come tomorrow, doesn't matter, today is enough. It's food, like a food, it's food. Now you don't have to come, But if you want to come, you're most welcome anyway. But the program is, tomorrow also there's a program of Zambala and whatnot, I don't know. So this is the thing. So and then day after tomorrow I'll be, I think, gone. Yes, day after tomorrow I'll be gone. Mitakpa, impermanent, everything is impermanent. Coming is impermanent, going is impermanent. We have to get old, we have to die, we have to, we have to be like impermanent. Everything is impermanent. So day after tomorrow I'll be gone, we all will be gone, I think. Some of them will be going there day after tomorrow, I'll be going day after. So we all are brought here with our own great karma. So we are here, so hoping that we all will be able to do something for the benefit of the beings, benefit of the Russian people, benefit of Russia country, benefit of Vietnam, benefit of everybody in the world, including insects. We have to be able to benefit them. So this is what you have to be sort of like believe in, and also do the Dharma practice for. Thank you. So I will excuse myself. Please don't stand up. Just sit. The ceremony is not finished. Due to just a health kind of thing, I just have to run. And the teaching has been given already, don't worry. And the dancing and all the Gana Chakra feast, all these needs to be sit down and do it with the practice, with the meditation, sense of philosophy.
Начала, я не хочу вас задерживать, но от всего сердца, от всей русской санки я хочу вас поблагодарить за то, что вы пришли к нам и дали учение. Мы желаем вам очень крепкого здоровья, счастья, исполнения всех ваших желаний. И просим вас не забывать про нас и приезжать к нам почаще.
Thank you. Zinde